Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my humble home here in Livingston, Montana. See, what's the date today? It's the 17th of February of 2022. Now, look, what I thought I'd do for this setting, for this video here, is I'd like to just demonstrate briefly, not getting real long-winded, the proper way to sharpen a knife. Now, I've covered this subject, I know, on my channel, on my 900 and some odd videos. I've covered this subject on several different videos, and believe you me, if there's one guy that that understands that there's a whole bunch of ways out there to sharpen knives or cutlery, it's a character like me. But I'm just sitting here to tell you that most of these ways, methods, or whatever have you, are wrong. You're doing more damage to your blade than you're doing good. Now, I'll try to get into this and make it brief. So, stay lively, laugh along with me. Don't go to sleep. I'm going to use this. This is something I bought from a craftsman in Pakistan, believe it or not. It's a short sword / machete. I'm not going to give you any company name because I've gotten tired of, you know, promoting some products and not getting anything out of it. But this is handmade. This is made by an individual, not a big corporation or whatever have you. But yeah, this doggone thing is actually technically a machete / short sword. Okay, now I've got a flat hone here. Name, I'm not saying because it doesn't matter. Hones mostly are, round, like say anywhere from an eighth to quarter inch to whatever. But this guy's flat. I like this hone quite a bit. I own several hones. I primarily do my knives on hones or diamond stones. I don't use any guides. I don't use those uh, ceramic sticks and all these little devices where you can get the 20 degrees, because you want your piece on about a 20-degree angle when you address your stone or your hone like this. But I got these two objects like this so you can see well what I'm doing. Now, you take like right here. The proper way to sharpen a knife is to get a 20-degree angle. You see what I'm doing here? Get a 20-degree angle and start at the tip and go to the rear with your stroke. In other words, you're stroking away from the blade, not into the blade like this. A lot of people tell you to go like this and go like that. Dragging your piece, your knife, your steel into your sharpening methodology, or your hone, or your diamond stone like that. This kind of stuff is wrong. What you want to do is take the tip of this guy like this and go like this, like the old time barbers used to do. Then go on this other side and go just like this. See what I'm doing here? Tip to rear, tip to rear. I've showed so many people this, I can't even believe it, but yet people will invariably sharpen wrong. Because what you're doing when you're sharpening like this, you're pulling the molecules of the steel back like this, and you're making a little saw blade. If you was to look at this in a microscope or a magnifying glass, which I have, and that's exactly what you're doing. Because when you cut, you're cutting like this usually, you see, and you're going right into those microscopic teeth, if you will. And that's exactly what you're putting on the very edge of this steel right here, meaning the knife itself. But you see what I'm doing here? Tip to rear, tip to rear, tip to rear. Now here, not too long back, using just sitting over on my kitchen table, I took all my wife's butcher knives and sharpened them in 20 minutes. I was keeping track of the time, and right offhand, I don't know how many butcher knives I sharpened, but I was looking at the block over there. But a lot of guys, it would have taken like, probably an hour and a half. A lot of guys don't have patience. As I know, back when I was younger, I used to have a lot of my hunting buddies relatives and different things at hunting season. I can remember this all too well. They'd always bring me their hunting knives because they'd say to me, Jim, I can't get my knife sharp. You do a good job. Could you sharpen my knife? That kind of thing. And so I got stuck with sharpening a lot of knives in my day. Plus, I built a couple. Plus, I bought a lot of knives. I reviewed them right here on YouTube. I don't plan on doing much of that anymore because I figure, why in the world should I support these companies that don't never do anything for me? And I've done a lot of things for people and never ask for anything in return. But anyway, let's get back to this here. You see what I'm doing here? Tip to rear on a 20-degree angle. And I'm coming on the other side of the steel, the sharpening hone, and like that. Just like the old barbers used to do with that piece of leather alongside their barber chairs. It's the same thing here. Tip to rear. And of course, I'm doing this dry. When I've got my big diamond stones out, I take a little drop of dish soap, I put it in with some water in a cup, and I'll dip my a stone in there and get it, a little soapy and like that, and then I, use the stone. But I'm using the stone the same way I'm using this hone here. I got it laid flat on the table, and But of course, when I'm using a flat stone, I've got to take the steel, i.e. knife, and turn it around like this. See, now catch this part, but I don't have to do that with this particular hone I got here, this flat hone. This is the same thing, though. What I'm doing right here is the same thing as this, is going like this and then like this. It's the same thing. I hope you caught all that because it's really, really simple. Point to rear on a 20-degree angle. And on a stone, you start at one corner, the lower corner, and then you go up to the opposing corner on the other side. Like that, and then go back down on your stone and like that. And it just, I only own 6-inch stones. I own 3 of them. One of them I've had for, 30 years. Yeah, I know doggone well a DMT stone, a diamond stone. But this particular hone that I have right here, this is a brand name hone, and it's a real good one. And I like it quite a bit because I can sharpen things very, very fast with this. And I don't have to make a watery, soapy mess around and all that. And where am I at for time here? I can see I just blew right by 8 minutes. That's probably good enough, but just remember what I said. Tip to rear. Now I'm on this other side. Tip to rear. Now I'm on this other side again. You see, I'm just changing top and bottom on this stone, but it's the same as what I showed you just a few minutes ago, with a flat stone. So there you go, if that made any sense. There you go. You just keep doing this, and you'll end up with a very, very sharp cutting instrument. Let me put it to you that way, and you won't be wearing your blade out, because when you do this sharpening method where you're going into your stone or going into the hone like that, what you're essentially doing is wearing the edge of this blade down needlessly. Needlessly, I said. Okay, that's all I've got here. Keep in mind what I've said. And by the way, if you want to subscribe to my channel, subscribe. If you want to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down or the finger, I'm just kidding about that. Don't get all uptight. Do whatever you want to do there. Sign up for the program. Ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves. We'll see you on down the trail. And adios, my friends.
Hello? Hey.